Welcome to a Zoom meeting and podcast of Here's Tom with the Weather for Monday. And this is not the pre-hour, it's the free hour. Here's Tom with the Weather is the podcast that examines recovery from every angle. A safe space for open-minded discussion about those issues or perhaps even taboos that affect recovery. These are the topics often whispered about in church basements or grumbled over by the bleeding deacons and the big book thumpers that are verboten or scoffed at. We want to give free voice to those subjects that get those alky witches and warlocks burned at the stake, or at the very least, hounded out of their home groups. And a quick aside, just to remind you that we run this account for free, so we welcome any valuable contributions via PayPal at gilwriter@hotmail.co.uk. That's Gilwriter, Gilwriter @hotmail.co.uk. And today, I'm really excited about this one. Today, we're talking about the Well community. This is a recovery community in the north of England. It's an urban conurbation populated by people in recovery that offers a high range of high-quality services which are available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Support is free to members and is provided by staff and volunteers with lived experience of addiction. The team also specialises in providing support to people with mental health issues, offending behaviour, childhood trauma, learning difficulties, domestic abuse and homelessness. And they've become very well known as a highly respected service provider in Cumbria and North Lancashire in the UK. Of course, and just this is a really important thing to remember, is that they say that of those who've used their services, 69% have not relapsed after 6 months. And they say that their mission, is described on their website, is to build a movement that supports sustainable recovery for people facing severe and complex social exclusion by valuing and harnessing the strengths, skills and partnerships and other assets present in every community. Their vision is for people facing severe and complex social exclusion to have the opportunity to live healthy and fulfilling lives through involvement in a community that supports their recovery, encourages stigma-free social integration, builds their abstinence and well-being, and is led and organised by their peers and families. Well, that's a bit of a mouthful, but anyway, I'm really glad that coming along to represent the Well community today is Ged Pickersgill, and Ged has sent me a message to describe himself as very simply, was in for 30 years, was an active A-class substance misuser. He was homeless, he's an ex-offender, repeated hospitalisations, and he got clean with a 12-step program in June 2015, and now he runs a 62-bed supported housing project in the community. And Ged, I was just going to ask you just a few statistics. I don't know whether you've got the statistics to hand, but how many people are employed throughout the community? Do you have a rough figure? And okay, and how does that work? How do they? And they're all ex-users. They're all ex-addicts.
So 3/4 of our staff team, which currently numbers 45 to 50. It's just grown by 8, as is the beds, because we've experienced some quite significant growth this year. I suggest we're approximately 50 staff at the moment, set across different settings, prison settings, hospital settings, different contracts, housing, across the 64 beds. 3/4 of the people have lived experience of substance misuse. Many of us, I would suggest minimum 40% of those people have come through our own project. So if you're trying to create a culture, i.e. a feeling, it's important that as the organisation grows, that culture and the ethos is maintained all the way through it. The real importance of the work that we undertake. I mean, we support, to give you an idea, we got a contract commission on the 1st of July 2022 to support people's family members, because they're the hidden harm of what I do. My family were profoundly affected by what I did. And I think the caseload since the 1st of July last year, which is 8 months, I think we're numbering around 80 families that we're supporting on that work stream. But that's kind of like when, we can put, these are actual people that actually engage and not just take support from us, support each other. It's not about us being the be-all and end-all and pretending we've got all the answers. It's about creating a community within our community and our communities with it. So we're in our local community, we're place-based, in Barrow, Kendal, Carlisle, Morecambe, soon to be Liverpool. So we're place-based in our community. So we are the well communities in our community. We will create a community within the well community. So we'll create a community of family members. We'll create a community of people who use our electronic platforms daily. We'll create a community of housing residents. We'll create a community of residents, of individuals that use our food clubs. We'll create a community of people who use our social prescribing platforms, i.e. grow your own schemes for food provision, that kind of stuff. And then we'll bring them all together. Lo and behold, you can bring us all together because we're all relatively normal, you see.
Who? I know is it the guy called Hyam? Is it the guy who started it off? I'm interested to know about him and where he got David, his ideas from.
Okay, so David Hyam is an prolific ex-offender who nigh on single-handedly back in 2012 recognised that there wasn't really. He came out of prison after a long period of time. He was in Lancaster Castle prison after quite some period of time. He found faith and he found a 12-step recovery program in the prison. When he was released, upon release, he moved to Lancaster and he kind of recognised that there was very little peer-led, community-focused support for people with, offending histories, substance misuse histories. Can't really go to the pub all the time. If you want to socialise and talk recovery, if you want to just get together with people. So he used his own money to rent a boys and girls club on a Saturday afternoon. Volunteers had to pay a membership. But the Well Communities Lancaster Social Club still going to this day and attracts 80 to 100 people every week. And David basically single-handedly drove it. Then back in 2015, he received a small pot of funding to get some housing, supported housing, going in Barrow and Furness. And today we support literally, I'd suggest somewhere in the region of about 400 people per week across north and central Lancs and Cumbria. And again, these aren't just numbers. I mean, to give you an example, I think today we fed 60 families across our two food clubs. It was quite quiet on the electronic platform. I think it was about half a dozen participants on the e-platform this morning. We've engaged maybe a dozen of the families on the carers support group. We've engaged 58 supported housing residents today. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I've got any idea of the numbers what North and Central Lancs are engaged today, but it'll be in, there'll be a lot. There'll be a lot. So when I'm kind of quoting these numbers, these are people, these are actually individuals. Sure. I think we've had about, in just Barrow and Furness alone today, we've got a total open door policy, and it's called a no wrong door policy. So, don't matter, when you walk into somewhere and they kind of say, oh, no, it's not me you need such and such a body, but he's only back in on Friday. Can you come back Friday? Oh, no, you don't understand. I need help now. I'm going to die. I'm going to kill myself. I need the help now. So all this nonsense around like the door's closed or you can't speak to anybody, you're going to get the same message off the lady behind the two ladies behind our social supermarket counter who are trauma-informed, fully trained in companion training. You're going to get the same messages off her as you are off any other member of staff across all our organisation. You're going to get exactly the same message.
Correct.
No difference. So it don't matter whether you talk. It don't matter who you talk to. You're all equal anyway. We're all singing the same.
I'm really excited about this whole thing. I'm just going to sort of ask just about the funding. So you mentioned there's funding involved. Is it also donations? And also you say you've got 40 to 50 staff. Are they paid or is that volunteer or is it part-time volunteers? Could you just give us an idea of the sort of the commercial infrastructure?
So it's important for an organisation like ours that you have really diverse funding streams, because we're a landlord. You know, people. I remember looking here and think, hold on a minute, it's a really small community interest company back in the day. I thought, what if this, like, I'm homeless again? You know, I'm homeless again. Oh, you've got to give people the security, particularly when they live with you. These people live with us. You know, these people live with us. So it's really important that we have diverse funding streams. Our chief exec, Dave Iron, recently set up Clearose. He was a founder member of Clearose, which is a college of lived experience recovery organisations that Professor David Best's involved in. I think there's currently around 60 active members of the College of Lived Experience recovery organisations. Now, the situation around that is they're currently in the process of devising a set of standards, which basically is quality assurance, okay, for organisations such as ours to ensure that we're all, you know, performing and doing what we say we're going to do. Okay, our sector, the voluntary sector, okay, for some reason, historically, people believe that you can throw a handful of corn on the table and we can feed 5,000 chickens with a handful of corn. Now, unfortunately, that's not quite possible. It's not quite possible. We need a sack of corn to feed 5,000 chickens. Yeah? We're not the poor relations. We're qualified by experience. What I spent on Class A drugs would have sent me through Harvard for 10 years. Yeah? What I spent on Jack Daniels would have sent me through Cambridge University. And we're all very into, believe it or not, some of the skills, we are very, very skilled. You know, we have in our organisation at the moment, in our community, we have bricklayers, we have painters and decorators, we have builders, we have electricians, we have plumbers, we have all different shapes and sizes of individuals, and strangely enough, we can help each other, you know, and we can achieve anything we want. So the top and bottom of it is we have a lot of really diverse funding streams. For example, we get paid by G4S to work in Her Majesty's Prison Outpost very successfully. You know, we get paid by the local clinic and commissioning group to provide lived experience dual diagnosis services in hospitals. We get paid in elements of housing benefits and other housing projects. We also raise money philanthropically, which is easier said than done. And back in the day, you know, we were sat on car parks on a Sunday doing car boot sales. We will do what it needs to support people, and we don't need, you know, we're very skilled at what we do. We're not the poor relation. You know, the numbers that we can, the numbers, I remember back in 2016, one of my colleagues is an ex-pensions analyst, stroke heroin user from the City of London. And he doesn't half know his way around data collection. And back in the day, we kind of sat there and we crunched a load of numbers and then we watched it for about 6 months. And I remember looking at the outputs and I said, something wrong there. You know, there's something wrong there. So he sat back down, goes back through it. And it's like 56% of people that's come through our housing are still clean today.
Yeah, wow.
And that's about 5. And then I thought, well, hold on a minute. So he starts going through, well, yeah, I know he's clean, because I seen him last week. He's clean. I know he's clean. I know he's clean. Let me have a look at this. Let me double check when he was last spoke to and all this kind of stuff. And like, Jesus. You know, this is working. But it's in front of your face, isn't it? You know, we're not just a number. I'm here, look. Yeah. Here I am, I am actually number 17. Yeah, in Walton Prison, it was A20966. Yeah, no one knew my name. Do you know we've got? I think we've got 60 housing residents. Yeah, and literally, I know every single person's name. Yeah, and anybody that's been here over a month, I know the man's name and the dad's name. If you got on the brother, yeah, because we're not numbers no more. We're people. We can talk to each other. How are you doing? You getting on? Oh, it's awful. This. What do you mean? Don't come here with your luxury problems. Yeah, give me some real world problems. I'll tell you some real world problems. Then your gas off. Just go up 30%. When you get in the real world and you're paying your own bills, it's about reality, isn't it? It's about learning people to live independently without the use of drugs.
So, Jed, can I ask you a couple questions? First of all, I just want to say the magnitude of what you're creating is incredible. I mean, the potential of what you're doing is amazing to me, because I see people walking on the street. When I lived in Miami Beach, this guy who would just walk up all day. You'd see him all over, miles away, just walking. And there was nowhere to go. And we all see that, the homelessness, the people that are off medication, that can't get help. So what an incredible thing you're doing and creating. So I have some questions, though, about the logistics. Like, okay, so say somebody comes in and they're, is there anybody that you turn away? Is there anybody that's too challenging, too difficult, too dangerous, too presenting too sick, or is there anybody that you would turn away? Is there a criteria? Is there a commitment that's needed? Or is the door just open?
I'm yet to see one. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to sit here and pretend or profess to be the be-all and end-all and the solution to every problem that everyone has, because that isn't the case. But what we have got is we've got a real good asset map of who does what and who does it well and what is there. So if we don't have the specialism to help someone that walks through our door, and we'll very quickly find someone that does. And that's it. Some people, it's just time, isn't it? It's just finding the time, but because we are kind of like, we're fiercely peer-led. So if we've had a resident that's been with us for maybe like 8-9 months, and they're coming towards the end of the time, they'll give us a bit of time back. And they can sit down and have a coffee with someone. We can get, we can do robust risk assessments and disclosure and barring service checks and stuff like that for volunteers. With a lot of people who are really invested in what we do. A lot of volunteers and companions and stuff. And we're constantly creating capacity, but we don't profess to be the be-all and end-all of everything. We're not. We're not superheroes. We aren't. We're human beings that just want to help the next man. That's it. It's like you wouldn't go if my next door neighbour's 80. If she knocks on the door now, regardless of what's up with her, I'm going to help her. It's the same principle, isn't it?
Yeah. So as people are entering into the community or into the facility or whatever it is that you have there, also, like, I'm curious, do you own property? Do you get to own the property so people can live there long term? Do people stay there throughout their lives in the areas that you have created?
So people who live with us tend to live with us for maybe between 9 and 12 months, or when they've completed the full behavioural change programme and we're safe that they can live independently under their own steam. And then we have a really good connection with local councils, with private landlords. We will help people furnish their properties. We will move them along.
Fantastic.
All that kind of stuff. And we've got a community of people, earlier today, I was outside the supermarket and my friend who came into the supported housing a week after me, works in a local shipyard. I bumped into him. I've not seen him for a couple of months, but he's like my brother. He's like my brother. And we've got people we've been doing this a long, long time. So we're constantly building up a community of people and they all know each other. And we're very place-based. So it kind of reverberates throughout our town. That's the importance of it.
Yeah. Do you have physicians that work with you? Psychologists or psychiatrists or whatever, doctors to help you?
The well communities per se do not have any clinically trained staff whatsoever, but the contracts which we hold with Change, Grow, Live and Humankind, they have specialists, non-medical prescribers, doctors, obviously, for the pharmacological element of recovery. But personally, the well communities do not have any clinically trained staff. No.
I wonder how much just walking into a community when you've been isolated, homeless, not being able to connect with anyone, I wonder how much just walking into that community, how healing that must be for how many people. Once they realize that it's real, that it's stable, that you've had the experience together. It's amazing. I'm overwhelmed that you're doing what you're doing and that it's working. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you take donations? Is there or is it just funded by government? Or I think that's what you said.
Yeah, we to be honest with you, we have the availability to take donations. We have some quite good friends who help us philanthropically. If that's the word, I'm going to write that one down and put it on a board.
Don't worry about it.
I'm going to get my tongue wrong. But of course, we take donations. Regardless of whichever. The fact of the matter is, we're a voluntary organisation. We're a community interest company. Nothing. Even volunteer people have a misconception that volunteers are free. Volunteers aren't free. I think we've got like tens and tens of volunteers, and somebody's got to look after these people. Somebody's got to train them. We've got to upskill them. We're not just in the business of taking time off people and giving them nothing back. So it's really important that we upskill our volunteers. It's really important we give them adequate supervision, look after them, give them a bit of meaning and a bit of purpose. So everything has a cost attached to it. But the top and bottom of it is, let's put it this way: none of us are going to drive a Bugatti Veyron on strength of this.
Do you delegate positions to people as they get better, as they integrate and come in? Do you immediately?
We grow our own stuff. We grow our own stuff. That's what we do.
That's great. That's fantastic. Yeah.
We don't have any. Invariably, we very rarely have HR problems because we grow our own stuff. But not everybody wants to be a substance misuse worker, So we encourage people to go to training courses, and we're not saying you will, everybody's not. I have days when I don't want to be a substance misuse worker, never mind everybody else. And it's just like you're taking people's aspiration. We get a lot of people. We're doing some work around county lines, which is like people getting victimised, and we're working with Cumbria Police and Crime Commissioner around county lines, and we've had lots and lots of late teenage young men and ladies who have kind of been extremely badly exploited as a direct result of county lines activities and drugs moving across the UK. So everybody we have, everybody's unique. We've people who've come out of prison after 27 years. And people who've experienced, sold the body for drugs and all different types of trauma, and there's a lot of de-escalation work involved. We don't get any low-hanging fruit. There's a lot of work needs to go into each individual. I'm talking 30 plus hours a week per person needs to go into these people. Sometimes in a group setting, a lot of the time one-to-one. It's really important we invest time in people. Otherwise, you're getting no change from people.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
I love come right in, right? No waiting list, no forms to fill out, no appointment to set. The need is now, the help is now. It's so obvious, so simple. It frustrates me that more systems of care aren't organized in this, meet the needs of the people who have the needs. I think, Ged, what your model could definitely be replicated in Canada, in the US, anywhere.
We need it desperately.
Everywhere.
And nobody's turned away. Not color, not age, not pathology, it's incredible. It's so important.
Yeah, people
so you
even
said,
get kicked out of 12-step meetings if they've got a mental health issue that's presenting, right? You know, if they've got a disorder, right, and they're disturbing the meeting, well, the natural thing to do is just to eliminate the problem. But the problem is the person who needs the help. It's the purpose of the group is to help the people who come to us, right? So the well really seems to have their head screwed on right.
you said Liverpool. You said Liverpool, Jed. You said, where are there any plans to go beyond that into the rest of the UK? Because it seems, I know that there's some recovery cafes around the UK, but not on this scale that you're talking about. Are there any plans to move it further along?
The moment we're concentrating on North Cumbria. That's the concentration. I mean, it's again, you know, it's something that it's really important that it grows organically. You know, it's not, you know, imagine, it's not like, I don't know, it's not a chicken restaurant where you can just franchise it out, put a badge on, and away you go. You know what I mean? Let's just throw a badge on it. Let's just throw a badge on it. We'll get a catchy industry. And then all of a sudden, this is just going to work all over the UK. It doesn't work like that. It's about getting the people. We are, you know, the well is the name over the door, you know, driven by the chief exec, and the people who are really passionate about the ethos and the model of recovery we do. You know, it has to be organic. It's got to be organic. Otherwise, it wouldn't be us. You know, it'd be like, you know, I don't know, it'd be a sausage factory, wouldn't it? You know, just be like a sausage factory. Yeah, there you go. Thanks very much. Ching. There you go. See you again. Ta. Thanks very much. See you, lads. Ta. Like, no, I'm not so good. I've not used drugs, but I want to come and talk. Oh, no, don't come back here until you've used again. No, I don't want to use. Can I come back and talk to you? Yeah. Sit down here, talk to him as well. Wow. We had a situation today where a guy coming in completely like funky, really big guy, really random, just kind of walked into the completely off the street, you know, like kind of quite boisterous and volatile. And then this other guy came in with his dad at exactly the same time. And the worker said, hey, you might as well sit there. You sit there. Father, you sit there. What do you want? Tea, coffee, this, that, the other. And we're literally just like, and it's like two different guys, two different completely walks of life, two totally different ethnicities. Very, very, you know, it's just like, yeah. I feel like that sometimes as well, do you? Yeah, I do. You know, and we've got the guy in the middle who works for our organisation, kind of just like the bandmaster. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, this is what's on offer, you know. And sometimes it's like, there's got to be something. There's a West African philosophy called Ubuntu, I think it's called. It means like, I can't, but we can together. We're stronger. We're stronger, and we've got that many varied people. You know, veterans. We've got a lot of veterans. We've got quite a few veterans. You know, lo and behold, strangely enough, they gravitate to each other, regardless of where they're from. They'll gravitate to each other. We've got people with certain difficulties. They gravitate to each other. Yeah, we just kind of facilitate it all and let people do what they do best: interact, trust, care. That's it. Very simple. Very simple. We don't need to overcomplicate it. Yeah, I'll give you. You know, I could fill quite easily this kitchen with policies, and we've got them all. I've got pockets and pockets of them. Yeah, all very relevant. Adhere to them all. Everybody understands them. Yeah, but I use it like elastic band. Yeah, we'll pull it back. Everything's safe. Everything's regulated properly. But it's also, people who walk through our door don't need to know all that. We need to know all that. They don't. For all intents and purposes, we are just a human being helping them. Right here, right now. What are you doing tonight? What are you doing tonight? Well, we're all going to the NA meeting. 40 of us. You want to come? Well, I can't get there. We'll pick you up on the bus. No, well, don't come tomorrow. It's only around the corner. Yeah. We've got food in your cupboards. What? We've got food in your cupboards. No, got some of this. What? Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to talk to a man. Okay, just, this lady will talk to you. I don't want to sit here. I don't want to take you go in the office. Yeah, let's create the right environment. Trauma informed. People are frightened. Oh, what's going on? Yeah, what's going on? It's got to be really comfortable for people to come in and talk to us. People got to feel at home. Got to feel at home. You know, it's really important.
Jed, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Well, is it really? No, it's not really a question. It's something you said that just really hit me. You said something about trying to get away from me, trying to get away, I guess, from yourself. That just hit home because that's what I've been doing for the last 16 years. I've got 13 days sober. It's the first time in 16 years I've honestly had 13 days. I've lied about it and everything else. I've gone into these, detox units, and you get 6 days or you get 28 days or some crap, and but you got to wait 4 days before you can get in. And my daughter has said over and over again she doesn't know why I haven't died with the amount of liquor I was taking and prescribed medication. It wasn't enough to kill a horse. It was enough to kill a herd. And I was taking it daily. And, I loved your honesty because so many times we're discouraged from doing I guess they call it a drunk-a-log. But I really appreciated finally hearing somebody be honest about what they did, because that's what I can relate to. Once in a blue moon, in a women's meeting, I will say, before 2014, I was a drunk. After 2014, I became an alcoholic. There is a difference. But so many people don't want to offend anyone, and so they don't say it honestly. I have to be so careful about saying what I honestly was and what I did prior to 2014. It was ugly. And I had a husband who's never left me. I live in a beautiful home. I had all the perks in life, great health insurance. And here I am, just starting to get my feet under me. And it is listening to what you've shared. If something like that had been available, oh my God, my life could have been so much different. But it is what it is, and I'm moving forward. But I did just this, tried to get away from me. I like that, and that'll stick with me. Thank you.
The thing is, whichever way you dress it up, the past 2,000 days are not going to keep me sober today. They've gone, So in effect, me and you were doing exactly the same thing today. Just trying to stay away from the booze today. Me and you were doing exactly the same thing. That's it. And there's thousands of us doing it.
Jed, I wanted to ask one more question just on that, and it has occurred to me, is that the guy David, is he still there? Oh, there he is. So you've moved down my screen. The guy, is it David Hyam? The guy who started. Now, I just want to ask you this question with all honesty. If he were to die tomorrow or to leave the organisation, would the organisation continue?
Absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. This is why? Because David has set a culture in place whereby everyone who works for our organisation are all accountable to each other. We're all accountable. Everyone's accountable. No one. Let me stress the way that David has driven this organisation is that we don't work in a fear-based way. No one's afraid of making a mistake, because if all our staff sit there being afraid to make mistakes, there's no innovation. What this organisation has given me, and I don't mean,
mate. Say that one more time.
What this organisation has given me And I don't mean a salary. I don't mean a roof over my head. I don't mean a car. I mean self-esteem, belief in myself, dignity. I'm a dad. I'm a father again. You know, I'm a father these days. What this organisation was giving me, I could never repay. But the organisation, the cultural elements of our organisation, is ingrained in the people who work here. And it's very important that we cascade that culture to people who use our services, because they have to support each other as well. We can't support 50 staff or whatever number we're sat on right now. It can only, you know, even if we don't work on, you know, a couple of our contracts work on caseloads. The people we work with every day, yeah, they can come in anytime they want. We see them in the supermarket. You know, we see them in our community. It's not about just sitting in an office talking to them all day. In our community. You know, so I suppose the short answer to that is, even though I've just gone around the houses, is yes, it would continue. But believe me, you know, the guy is an absolute driving force behind everything we do.
Sure.
And he's a good friend of mine, as well as a colleague.
Nice one. Brilliant. So, any more?
I just was really hearing you when you said it's got to grow organically. And earlier on, you said, we know each other. You know, each one of us are people. You know, we're not just numbers or a category. And that's so important. You know, I was thinking, oh, this could be good for everybody, everywhere. That's at situations where there's unmedicated people coming out of prison, people that are homeless, people that are struggling with dual diagnosis. You know, like, it's so important. But you're right, there's so much care that's involved in each person. 30 hours a week, you're saying, with each person. It's so important that it grows slowly or organically. Yeah. Good on you, as Dave would say. Good luck.
Good on you. Joe?
Yeah, just this was, I look forward to listening to this again, because you just kept whipping off these gems that I got to hold on to that. But I think the brilliance of it is you lead with your weakness, right? You know, you get two people together and you talk about, you know, your mental health problems, your criminal problems, your health problems, and that's helping each other, right? Like you described trying to escape yourself, and Kathy goes, wow, yeah, that's it. You know, that's, you know, a small little bit of genius. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, listen, thank you very much, Ged. I think we'll call it a day there. That's been wonderful. As Joe said, we're going to put this on the YouTube channel and on our Spotify and iTunes stuff as well. So thank you very much. And just about next week, we've got a bit of a special episode next week. Jill's just going to give us a run. What's happening next week, Jill? What's on next week's episode?
Next week is Miley T speaking about Marty Mann, the first woman and lesbian in Alcoholics Anonymous. And she's going to be giving a presentation. She's a research history buff. She's amazing. She'll have like pictures and a lot of shots of early AA, and she'll be talking about Bill Wilson's relationship with Marty and how he sponsored her through all of her recovery, her slip and her experiences, and what a great sponsor he was, how open and lenient he was, and about women in AA. So I hope you come back.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jill. Well, listen, thank you very much to Joe and to Jill.
Jed.
And
Thanks,
Jed, thanks
Jed.
very much, mate. I hope you come back and see us, and no doubt we'll be in touch. So
Door's always open, Jed.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Right. So recording stopping now.